Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tim, and today I'm continuing my playthrough of Skies Above Britain. We are up to Chapter 4, Patrol number 4. So after this one, we'll be halfway through Chapter 4. Just 4 more patrols to finish out this campaign. Alright, nothing to really talk about, I don't think, before we get started here. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Our random event, we'll roll for that first. Again, we're on the bottom table here for Chapter 4. See what we get. 9. Big wing again. Wow. Like I said, there is a 25% chance of rolling that. We've gotten it 3 times in a row. Excuse me. All right, so again, just a quick reminder here on what that entails. During setup, we're going to start in the deep zone. We don't need to roll for that. Squadron 2 doesn't start in play. We have to perform a rendezvous, which we can do during the vector step. Spend a fuel, roll a die. If it's even, we successfully rendezvous. If it's odd, we fail, but then successive attempts, we can roll 2 dice, and if either is even, then we succeed. And then, again, this last sentence here should actually be out on its own. It's not tied to the odd fail result. If we do not make contact, or if we do not rendezvous before contact, then we're going to lose 3 victory points. And again, this is an addendum that Jerry White added in a BGG post replying to a question about this. If you fail multiple times over future patrols, you actually start losing 5 victory points instead of 3. All right, so let's go ahead and put our squadron in the deep zone. And let's get our, I guess we'll finish the setup, and then we've got some stuff to do regarding our roster. So once again, we have this configuration for our inbound vector markers. Give them a good mix up here. 4. Starting from the left. 4, then 4, then 2, and 1, and 1. All right, we've been fortunate the first 2 times. We were able to rendezvous on our first attempt. We haven't been able to catch them before they drop their bombs, however, which would be nice because it'd be an automatic 8 points, assuming we can keep the entire Squadron 2 intact. All right, then we can do our starting visibility. Again, red, red die for visibility, blue die for sun location. 11 is going to be clouds, no sun again. Let's hope that clears up before the raid shows up. All right, so for our pilot roster, we are able to roll for replacements this time because we are down 1. We had Atkinson that got discharged from the hospital in our last patrol. Let's go ahead and erase his name from here. Mark off. Yeah, he had just recently become a veteran too. That's a shame. I think when I play this in the future, I'll just erase these as well. But I started off marking them off like this, so I'll continue to do that. And erase his escort and bomber kills as well. And his training flight. Right, he had a training flight. He may have actually become a veteran one patrol earlier than I thought he had. All right. Now let's look at our. Well, first let's roll for that replacement. See if we get it. So again, we're using the pilot replacement table. We're only down one pilot, so we use this bottom row. There's no way to get two. We couldn't take two anyway. So we need a 9 or more to replace Atkinson. And we did not get it. All right, so looking at our roster. Well, first of all, these guys that sat out last week are not fatigued. We have quite a few fresh pilots to come in. Let's see who is currently fatigued, though. Excuse me. So that would be if they flew patrols 2 and 3. So Birtwistle is fatigued. Let's see. Ellsworth. Pertwee and Rathbone and Tremble. So Pertwee, Rathbone, and Tremble are all fatigued as well. Well, Pertwee had to bail out. Rathbone and Tremble, who is no longer green. All right, speaking of which, Merrington and Grant, let's check their situation here. So Grant's flown 3 patrols, so 1 more and he will become a regular. Merrington's only flown 2, so neither of them are promoted. And of our regular pilots, we just have 3 now. Fitzroy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 patrols for him, so he needs 2 more. Osgood, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 more for Osgood. And Tremble just lost his green status, so he's got a little while yet. He's got 5 patrols under his belt, though, so 4 more. All right, so no promotions. Let's see if we can fill out our squadron this time. So we've got 4 veterans available, so those will be our obvious choices for section leaders. But that only leaves us with 4 more pilots that aren't fatigued. 2, 3, 4. So actually we could fly 3 sections and not have to use anyone that's fatigued. So I think we'll do that. So we'll put Merrington over here in red section. We'll put Grant over there with Upchurch in blue section. And then we'll go with, oh yeah, right, I gotta bring Northcott over. So Northcott will fly with Upchurch and Grant. And then we've got Fitzroy and Osgood here with White. All right, so we're flying 3 sections this time. And that will be fine because we've got our 2nd squadron with us. Hopefully it'll be fine. Let's see. All right, let's record who's flying. I always seem to forget to do that until halfway through the patrol. So we've got Merrington. This is patrol number 4. We've got Irwin. So I can show you while I'm writing them down. Doggett. He will be fatigued after this patrol. Fitzroy. White. Osgood. And Grant. Upchurch. And Northcott. Let's see. I was just looking at who all we have that's been with us since the beginning. So we've got Ellsworth, Hooley, Irwin, Northcott, Rathbone, Upchurch, and White. They've all been with us since the very start, so I think that's pretty good. All right. Let's go ahead and move Pertwee out of the bailout box. He'll be available next patrol. And we need to roll for Hooley. See if he can get out of the hospital. But hopefully by returning, not by getting discharged. So we need a 9 or higher for him to return. And we got an 8, just missed it. So he'll stay in there. We got anyone else that's close to getting an ace skill? Looks like Osgood just needs 1 more bomber kill. Rathbone needs 1 more bomber kill or 2 more escort kills. Looks like those are the only ones that are close. All right, let's go ahead and get started then with the reveal step. I'm just going to call it step since there's no, it's not really a phase because there's no steps under it. So we're just going to call it the reveal step of the raid vector sequence. Oh boy. Well, good and bad. We got turn point, which since it's cloudy means the sun comes out. And we'll need to roll to see where. So this chart here. We got a 3, so it's going to be at the nose. And that's the good news. The bad news is we got new trade, which since the raid marker's not on the map, we treat it as a raid result. So the raid marker comes out, which means since it's clear, we roll to see where the escorts are. So that part of it's good too, but we're kind of far away from them at the moment, and we still need to try to rendezvous. All right, so we're rolling here for escort stations. We got a 9, which is going to be heavy 109s in both the port and starboard. I think that's what we had last time. Right. That concludes the reveal step. We go to the fuel step. And then contact. So here we need to try to rendezvous. So again, even, success, odd, failure. And we got odd this time. Bummer. All right, that's all we can do. We cannot move as well as attempt to rendezvous. So let's go for, we can't make contact because we're not in an adjacent zone. We don't really want to because we'd end up losing 3 points. So let's go back to the, actually I guess that was before this. Doing things a little bit out of order here. So before we made our rendezvous attempt, was the contact step. We were unable to, since we're not in an adjacent zone or same zone. So vector step we just did. We failed to rendezvous, so now we're back to the reveal step. So this moves over. And just as soon as the sun came out and nice and clear, it becomes hazy, but at least we got those escorts spotted already. That's good. So we spend another fuel. Oh, actually, we should have spent a fuel for that rendezvous attempt. I forgot. And now we spend the fuel for this second time hitting the fuel step. Now we could make contact now because we are in an adjacent zone. However, I want to try to rendezvous first. So we will do that now. We will spend another fuel for the rendezvous attempt. This time we get to roll 2 dice, and if either of them is even, we succeed. And one of them is. So that brings the Squadron 2 marker out. And that concludes the vector step. So back to reveal again. Really need a tally-ho opportunity here. That would be awesome. We got Messerschmitts. Just set it right there. Okay, and if you recall, when you're using the big wing event, if Squadron 2 is out, so after rendezvous, if we get a Messerschmitt result, we have to roll to see if it applies to Squadron 2 or our main squadron. So even, it will be Squadron 2. Odd, it will be our regular squadron. And it is even. So that means since you don't actually play out dogfights with Squadron 2, if you get an even result, I mean, it doesn't say it here, but you can intuit it by following what happens after you get a Messerschmitt result, which is you randomly select a section. That section gets a Luftwaffe advantage card. However, for Squadron 2, if an advantage card would be drawn, you just reduce them by 1 section instead. So we're going to put this -1 section marker on Squadron 2. So they are now only 3 sections, which means only 6 victory points if we send them after the bombers prior to them dropping their ordnance, or 3 if we send them after they drop their ordnance, assuming they intercept them, of course. All right, and next, please don't be a raid result. Oh. All right, well, we got turn point. So we'll roll to see where the sun goes. Even, it goes clockwise. Odd, it goes counterclockwise. Even, so clockwise over to starboard. And we have our second raid result. So all these come off. Move this to the turn space of the middle zone. And we roll to see which direction they turn. So since we're currently on a flank, if we roll even, it goes back to the nose. If we roll odd, it goes to the other flank. And we got even, so it's back to the nose. All right. So now we spend another fuel. And we can attempt contact. Oh, also we should go ahead and, I always forget to do this until I need to move the raid marker onto the outbound track and then realize, oh, we were supposed to put these markers out. Let's go ahead and do that now. So we get 4 for the outbound track for the middle zone. All right, so we've got this space and then 2 more spaces before we have to worry about channel recovery. Definitely want to be out of there before then. So the question is, do we attempt contact here from the adjacent zone, or do we move and go high altitude and try to get a better position the next round? We'll have to deal with 1 more vector marker then, and then that'll basically give us that round and 1 more to get our business done. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So we'll forego making contact. We'll go to because the other thing, oh, actually, you know what? I think I forgot about this again because it's not on the board. We had escorts out during the last vector phase, and we should have rolled for escort exit, I think, from here, right? Let me think about this. So they were here. Excuse me. We revealed the new trade. Oh, so actually even in this one, because we had the turn point and the new trade. So the turn point made the sun come out. The new trade caused the raid marker to come down and the escorts to get placed. And that was all during the first reveal phase. We then spent a fuel. We attempted contact and failed. Or no, we didn't attempt contact. In the vector phase, we attempted contact and failed. And then we should have also rolled for escort exit using this number here. If you see on the sequence of play on the player aid card, it has it marked here, escort exit. And in the rules, of course, it also says that. Let's just look here for some further clarification. This is I mentioned this in the last patrol. I said, I wonder if I've been forgetting to do this in any cases, and then here I forgot to do it today. Let's see, we want the RAID vector sequence. It's going to be toward the back here. Reveal, fuel, contact, vector. Yeah, so during this phase, make an escort exit check for each escort station marker on the interception map. Then you may take, so actually you do that first, and then you choose to either move or reform, or in our case, attempt rendezvous. So yeah, we should have done that when it was here, right? This was where it started, right? Yeah. And then it moved over to here, so we should have done it again here during this vector phase or step, which was when we successfully rendezvoused. And then once it moved here was when it we got the second RAID result, so it moved up to here. So this one won't apply, wouldn't have applied. But so we need to go back and roll for each station and see if we roll higher than 11 or higher, which could possibly reduce them. And then again for each station to see if we get a 10 or higher. And then now, since we just finished, did we do the fuel? I think we did the fuel. I'll double check that. But then we're choosing to not make contact, so we're in the vector phase again. So we'll actually get another roll using these numbers, a 9 or higher. So we need to roll for each to see if we get an 11 or higher, then roll for each to see if we get a 10 or higher, then roll for each to see if we get a 9 or higher. So if we get really lucky here, we might not have any escorts left. So this will be the one we should have done for the first inbound space, which has an 11. This will be for, I'm not looking at the number yet, this will be for the starboard station. Okay, ooh, we got it, 12. So the starboard station is reduced. And then again for the port station. And they are not reduced. But now we do it again for each, looking for a 10 or higher from when we were in this box, or when the RAID marker was in that box. So again, starboard station first. No. And port station. Oh, so close. That one's missed by 1 both times. All right, and now that we've actually caught up to the present, little trip back to the past there. We're now in the vector phase, or the vector step that we're on currently. So we look here and see that 109s will exit on a 9. So again, starboard station first. Yes, so that one's gone. They all went home. And for the port station, every single time they missed it by 1. All right, but that's good. We got rid of 1 at least. Let me just double check this fuel then. So when we were here, we would have spent a fuel and then another fuel for the rendezvous attempt. Here, another fuel, another one for the successful rendezvous attempt, and then here, another fuel. So we should have spent 5 fuel so far. We started here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got that right. Okay, now we go back to the reveal step. And again, this space is still in the middle zone. See how it says middle underneath it? There's these dividers, dividing lines here, dividing the outbound track into deep, middle, and coast. So we're still middle zone. Oh, what I forgot to do though, let's back up again. Vector step, we did our escort exit check, but now we have the opportunity to move to an adjacent zone and or change altitude. And we're going to do both, which requires another fuel. Now we can go to the reveal step. Move this to here, which as I said is still the middle zone. So we're in the same zone. And we've got Messerschmitts again. Oh boy. All right. Well, let's see which squadron it affects. It was even, I think, for Squadron 2. Yes. It is again even. So now they're down to only 2 sections. So I think what we may do is just do the opposite of what we did last time and send them after the escorts and we take on the bombers. All right, so that resolves this. We go now to the fuel step once again. And now we have opportunity to make contact again, and this time we will. So we have in the same zone, we're coming from the same zone, and we are at high altitude. So we don't have to spend a fuel for the contact roll like we would if we were in an adjacent zone. And we get a +1 modifier because we're high. It's not clouds, so there's no -1. And if we can get this 10 or more, since we're high, we can choose to start coming out of the sun, which would be nose high. Now that would be great if we were trying to disrupt the formation to isolate tiles. It's not so great for getting damage results, but it still might be good because we want to isolate them anyway to make them more susceptible to damage in the second round. So we'll probably take advantage of that if we manage to do that. All right, but before we talk about what we might do, let's see what our choices are. So a 9 or more would be fantastic right here. Yes, all right. So we can choose, now you do still have to spend a fuel for this option. It's not as clear on here as it is in the rule book, but basically this ... see if I can do it without affecting the focus. This ... or if squadron is high is a continuation of this adjustment over here. So you do still have to spend the fuel to do this or part down here as well. Ooh, boy. Yeah, we're definitely only going to be wanting to spend 1 round in here. Or not. One round through the interception sequence, which will be 2 rounds of combat. All right, so we spent that fuel so that we can come in from... So we have our choice. We could either come in flank low or nose high, or come out of the sun, which would be nose high. So we're going to go for the nose high. Well, for us anyway, we want to come in nose high. Let's see what would be most advantageous for Squadron 2, since they're going to be going after the escorts. Now for our bomber interception at nose high, we've got escorts in starboard or port, so we're looking at needing a 7 or higher. We do have 3 veteran section leaders, so we can get up to a +3 to that roll if we need it. Of course, we always got the re-roll, although we're getting a little bit low on fuel, so we'll hopefully not have to do that. Our other options were nose low, which would be worse, or flank low, which either one of those we have to spend more fuel, which is not good. And I guess if we went nose low, it would cancel out the fuel we spent to adjust. But I mean, we could potentially reduce this down to only needing a 5 by coming in on the opposite flank, but I think we're okay with getting a 7, and we should get lots of disruptions coming in nose high, which will make it easier to pick them off after they're disrupted. Yeah, so we'll definitely go nose high for us. For the Squadron 2, so their choices are flank low, or nose high. So nose low, definitely not. I mean, they don't have to spend the fuel, but still, that's a 9 they would need. Nose high, if they came in with us, they'd only be needing a 5. Versus if they came in flank low, yeah, then they're needing, even if they come in on the same side, they're needing a 10. So, yeah, we want them to come in nose high with us as well. So let's do that. Remember, they're just down to 2 sections. All right, so that is contact complete. Well, almost. It's not cloudy, so now we get to roll to see where the bombers are and what type they are. Or just not where they are, but what formation they're flying in and what type they are. All right, so as usual, red die will be for bomber type and blue die for their formation. 6 is going to be Dornier's, yuck. And then 1 is going to be this 5-tile formation, which that's fine. We're not getting points for disrupting, so it doesn't really matter how many there are. So I'll get that set up and be right back. All right, there is our bomber formation. And if anyone out there has any suggestions on what I can do to eliminate these lighting artifacts around these tiles when they're against this dark green background, I would welcome them. I don't know if there's any settings I can adjust in my camera app that would help eliminate that. I'm just using a camera app on my phone, so it's not, I don't have a big fancy digital camera here or anything. So, but if anyone has any tips for eliminating that those lighting artifacts, I assume it's because of the high contrast between those colors that it's doing that. That would be great. Or if there's anything I can do with the lighting in here. I mean, again, nothing fancy. I just have this little chandelier light up here. I did put this cover over the bottom of it to reduce the glare coming down directly down onto the board. But, and I have the drapes closed. Well, that one's open a little bit, but the drapes closed on my windows to reduce the incoming light there, to try to cut down on glare. But yeah, any suggestions are highly welcome of what to do about that. All right, enough of that. We made contact. We're going into the interception sequence. We need to issue our orders. And we are going to have Squadron 2 go after the escorts and our main squadron after the bombers. And again, I've mentioned this the last couple times we've gotten this, but you are not allowed to send both squadrons after the bombers. Only one. Fighters from only one squadron can attack the bombers. Okay, so let's resolve our escort order first, as prescribed by the intercept phase. And let's see, not again, because we haven't done this yet. Let's review how that works for Squadron 2. So if Squadron 2 intercepts the escorts, so either they intercept or are intercepted by German escorts, we don't initiate dogfights. They go lost contact. If its order was to intercept escort, make an escort suppression check and may perform chase during entropy. Each time it is in a situation where a dogfight is triggered, Squadron 2 loses one section. If reduced to 0, then remove it from play. All right, so they go lost contact. So we'll just move them down into here for now. Oops. They automatically lose a section, so they're now minus 3 sections. There's no, I guess it didn't really matter where they came in from, to be honest, because they don't roll. I guess they still have to roll for the interception. No, they don't, because all that matters is whether they get an RAF advantage or a Luftwaffe advantage. You always intercept the escorts as long as you try. So yeah, it didn't really matter where they came in from, I guess. But they lost contact, and now we get to roll to see if they manage to suppress the escorts. I guess, unfortunately, you don't get to assume that they took a Luftwaffe fighter out, so we don't get any modifier to this. And there are no veterans in there that we can take advantage of their pluck privilege for this either. So it's just going to be a straight roll. Of course, we should have specified, but we sent them after the heavies. It would have been really nice if we'd been able to knock them down to light. We did send 2 sections after them, so we're using this column here. So we're going to need a 4 to suppress them or an 8 to suppress and reduce them. So let's see if we can manage that. Yes, not a reduction, but they are suppressed at least, which is all we really care about. Okay, I guess this was actually here. Now we flip it over and put that on them. So we're now looking at no escorts to interfere with our... We'll leave them in the lost contact area there. They could potentially chase if we wanted to, like say we failed to intercept the bombers and we wanted them to come back and take another crack at the escorts or go after the bombers themselves even, I guess. You could do that, but don't think we'll be doing any of that. All right, so we're looking at bomber interception now. And we're coming in nose high with no escort. So we just need a 3 or better. I find it kind of interesting that you actually have, if say we had 110s and like either low or trailing, we actually have a better chance of intercepting them than if there were no escorts at all. So not sure the reasoning behind that, but I'm sure there's some sort of reason for that. Especially if you come in low. Wow. I mean, even with the 109s, If they're high or trailing, you actually have a better chance of intercepting them than if they weren't there at all, which is interesting. So there could be certain situations that you may not even want to try to suppress the escorts because it's going to make it harder for you. Something to keep in mind. But we're, like I said, needing a 3, and we have 3 veterans at our disposal. So this is guaranteed to succeed. Just a matter of how much pluck I need to spend. And the answer is I have to spend 2. Wow. Well, we're doing it. Let's have, well, we definitely want to try to keep a veteran that's with a green pilot to have, I don't think he can use, do they just have to be same section? I'm thinking about for this stay trim privilege. Supplies to dogfighter bomber formation area if same approach. But I don't know if they had to be. I guess there's no sections in the bomber area, so it won't really matter if they're a section leader or not. Is my thinking? Let's see if my thinking is accurate. Veteran privileges. Yeah, so for stay trim, not really sure why this is titled no bombers, because it talks about when you can use it against the bombers. When the veteran and green pilot are approaching the same bomber from the same attitude. Yeah, they just have to belong to the same section. It doesn't have to be, the veteran doesn't have to be a section leader. So if we leave Irwin with his privilege, he'll be able to use it on Merrington if necessary. And if we leave Northcott with his privilege, he can use it on Grant if necessary. So we'll have Upchurch use his pluck along with White to make this a successful interception attempt. And this can come off. And we can enter the bomber formation area. Let me move these back this way since we're coming in from the nose. So my thinking is, initially I was thinking, let's just concentrate everything on one tile so that we just try to maximize our chances of killing at least 3 bombers. But then I think maybe we might want to take 1 or 2 pokes at another tile just to try to isolate it, so that then we'll have 6 bombers isolated that we can potentially try to take out, rather than just focusing everything on 3, because we will have a second round to go at them. We've got no escorts to worry about. There won't be any reaction other than possibly an ambush. So yeah, let's do that. Let's take I think we'll split them up just in case one of them gets a lucky shot and takes them out. And we can resolve these first so that all the ones down here still count. And we'll go after a bunch on this one as well. Actually, we'll just go after this front one, I think. And we'll just do, we want to make sure that we keep at least, oh, right. Probably don't want to use red section for this because they have a green pilot in there. Let's use a green section to do that. So we'll send green leader over there and green 3. Because we want to keep red leader and red 3 on the same aircraft. Send the green one first, just because. We'll send and then same thing for blue section. We want to make sure blue 2 and blue 3 attack the same bomber. So let's do it like this, I think. We'll spread it out somewhat. Try to get as many fallen results as possible. Then we can hopefully pick apart whoever's the weakest in the second round. All right, we're going to do it like that. So let me get my bomber deck out here. This would be great if we can do a whole patrol without having to use the Luftwaffe Advantage deck at all. But again, there is still a chance we could get an ambush on the reaction cards. So I did have that one patrol where I only spent 1 round going against the bombers. I don't remember if, I think I still did have some dogfighting prior to that though. So. All right, let's start up there with green leader right here. So we're top row, we're coming in from the nose. Green pilot would take a hit, no. Speaking of which, let me pull these green markers down so I remember who my green pilots are. Blue 3 and red 3. All right, so no green pilot hit. We need 10. We only have 9, unfortunately. So no joy there. He's finished. Green 3. There it is. A damage result, collision check, and then disrupt on a 7. So they will isolate. That'll potentially be some additional targets for round 2. Let's do the collision check, because the damage won't matter if they collide. Not fatigued, so no +1 or -1 to this. Ooh, wow, that was close. All right, then we do get a damage result. Is, oh nice, an engine hit, which will take it out of the formation. And we need a Dornier. Put that over there. Mark that fallen. Okay, that was it, right? Collision, damage, disrupt. Okay, now we'll move over here to red 3. So we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the tile. So we need 7 or less for disruption. And we got 5, nice. So that tile becomes isolated. And but we take return fire. Let's see what that is. If it's a green pilot hit, then we can cancel it. If it's a regular hit, we cannot. Oh, jammed. Okay. That's fine, I think. There they are. Jammed. Move him back. And we'll have red leader follow up. And now we're on the isolated tile row. So here, coming in from the nose, damage, low ammo, and distress on a 4, which is going to happen. So let's knock him out of the formation. A little more room there. Low ammo result. And a damage. Ooh, wing catastrophic on a 10. Let's see if we can take it out right here. No, so close. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and pull this in a little closer so I don't have to lean over quite as far. That's it for him. And we've got red 2 coming in behind. Now on a lone bomber from the nose. Damage and low ammo. And another wing damage. So that one just needs a couple more to go down. Hopefully we can achieve that in the second round. All right, let's go to green 2 next. On isolated tile from the nose. Falls out on a 3, which will happen. Collision check and return fire. So let's resolve the fallen first, which actually, when this one becomes fallen, this one also becomes a lone bomber because the tile is isolated. If it were still attached, it would not. It would still be considered part of the main formation. But so we actually need 2 lone Dornier markers now. Get rid of this stuff. These guys are on that. They're on that one. We're still resolving green 2, so we need a collision check and then a return fire. Does not collide. Return fire is a hit, engine 9. All right, blue leader. Isolated bomber now from the nose. Ooh, that's not good. Low ammo and return fire. It is a hit, a fuselage 6. All right, green 3, who is, or sorry, blue 3, who is green. Ooh, there we go. 2 damage and a low ammo. That's the kind of result I like to see. Now remember, these Dorniers take 3 engine hits instead of 2, like the other medium bombers. Still can go down with 1 cockpit hit though. Wing and fuselage. All right, well, if green 2 can match his performance there, we'll have 1 dead bomber. Nope. Well, at least we didn't get this one for the other guy. So just 1 damage, but that's still good. No return fire. No low ammo. What is this? Oh yeah, another wing. Alrighty. Okay, that's gonna do it for the burst step. So then everyone disengages. Now we're not on the tail, so we can't stay engaged. We have to disengage. We've got 2 hit checks to resolve. It looks like we'll probably just focus on the 3 damaged bombers, I think. If we can come away with 3 points, that's as good as the Squadron 2 would have done if they had 3 sections, so I'd like to at least meet that threshold. All right, so let's do our 2 hit checks. We've got a 6 fuselage. That one's trivial. And then we have a 9 engine. That one is not. So green 2 goes to the, that's Osgood, goes to the engine fate box. Move his pilot marker over here. See what happens to him later. Hopefully he can land it. All right. So that concludes the first go round through the bomber cycle, which was initiated from here. So we resume back, no cruise orders. So we go to the entropy phase and another round in the bomber formation area. All right, so let's go ahead and kind of push this stuff out here. I don't think we're going to worry about any of that. We've got 4 lone bombers here that we can go after. We'll, of course, be coming in from the flank so as not to impose a delay because we're getting a little bit low on fuel and a little bit too close to the channel to be fooling around. So yeah, we would definitely want to go after these 3. We'll see if we put anybody on that one or not. I'm thinking we want, I always like to have a backup, especially if you have somebody that's jammed. So I think maybe we'll go jammed. Now this is red 3, who's green. So we want to try to keep red leader with him, who's right here. So we'll send those 2 after that one that's almost down. I think we'll do, who else? We want blue 3 and blue 2 to stick together. So we'll send the 2 of them there, at least. Yeah, we're definitely, we don't have enough, I don't think, to worry about that guy. So we're going to go 3 here. And then we have 1 that we can send as a backup either here or here. I think I'd rather kind of try to make sure we get that one that already has 2 damage on it down. Hopefully all 3. All right, so we'll go with that. Not worry about this guy. Obviously not worry about these. Okay, so we'll start here with our mostly dead bomber. Red 3 with jammed guns. Does get a... Oh no, we're over here. Not on the nose anymore, Tim. Low ammo and a dorsal gunner if it goes through. We need him to roll even. Oh. So we don't get it, but he loses his jammed result. All right, it's up to Red Leader. We also got low ammo as well. So Red Leader also gets a dorsal gunner hit and low ammo, so we'll take that. And I'm fine with him running out of ammo. He can save his privilege in case he ends up in a fate box, and that dorsal gunner hit will take out that bomber. So we'll put a destroyed marker there just as a reminder that we took one out. And that was Red Leader, which is Irwin. Is he one of the guys on the verge of becoming an ace? Let's see, Irwin. No, that's his third bomber kill. And he has one escort kill. Yeah, and that's one bomber kill for the patrol. We're on chapter 4, patrol 4. All right, got that recorded. Let's move on next to our next most likely candidate for destruction. This will be blue 3. I keep calling him green 3 because he's green, but he's not. But he is. All right. Bottom row coming in from starboard report. Does get a damage and a low ammo, so he's out. We got one of the 2 damage results we need to finish this one off. Once it's a cockpit, then he'll do the job himself. It is a fuselage, but it might if we can roll a 12. Oh, look at that. And that was Blue 3, flown by Grant. Good job, Grant. 2 bomber kills for the patrol now. And that is Grant's first kill of any type. Now, we do still have to, guess I should have sent my backup over here, huh? We do still have to draw cards for these guys. They'll use the same row as the row that was used when it was destroyed, which is the lone bomber row. And we ignore damage results. Anything else applies. So just a low ammo result for Blue 2. And for Green 3, same thing, just a low ammo. Look at all those hits that are going to waste. Now, if we don't get this one down, I'm going to be upset. All right, Green Leader. There's a damage and a low ammo. And he's already used his privilege, so it doesn't matter. But I would have not bothered with the low ammo anyway. That's Mr. White. Doing his part to take this Dornier down with a fuselage hit. Then we have Red 2 coming in behind him Flown by Doggett. There we go. Dorsal gunner hit and low ammo. So far, so good. He's already low ammo, so just flip it over. Now is Blue Leader, aka Upchurch, or Ace. Is he going to choke here? No, he's not green, so he doesn't take a hit. He gets the last damage needed, using up the rest of his ammo. Again, privilege already used, so not able to cancel that. Not that I would anyway. So for fun, let's see where he hit him. It was a wing hit. Scratch one more Dornier. And credit Upchurch with another bomber kill. Now remember, he can get a second ace skill, and that's his 9th bomber kill. So one more bomber kill, and he can be a double ace. That's our 3rd for the patrol. So we did at least as well as Squadron 2 would have done in our position if they had 3 sections. So I think I'm happy with that. And it's more fun to play it out than just write down, yeah, we got 3 points. All right, that's it for the burst step. No one took any hits that time, which is great. So we don't have to do any hit checks. They're all already disengaged. We can get rid of these now, I think. And we resume back to the interception sequence. So we draw an escort reaction. No cloud escape because it's not cloudy. Help does not arrive from anywhere. Wow, it's a good thing we got that one suppressed. They would have sent 3 after us. Nothing to do for the moving because no one's in trailing. And there's no ambush. So that was perfect. Then we go to the chase step. And I think we'll just have Squadron 2 RTB. They did their job. Thank you, boys. Patrol complete. No. So we need to spend another fuel. Again, I just realized we didn't need Yellow's cube because they're not with us. So now we're on low fuel. So we are going to have to make bailout checks when these guys RTB. Escort recovery. So they are no longer suppressed. But then we check to see if any of them exit. We are now in this space, which means they'll exit on an 8 or less. And they do, so they become reduced. Channel patrol. No. Next space, there would be. Reform, nothing to do there. Raid vector sequence. Not sequence, but raid vector step. So we reveal the next one. Move the marker over. Messerschmitts again. Wow. Got a lot of those this time. So let's see. Normally, they would go after someone on the raid track, but there aren't any. We aren't there anymore. We've made contact already. Let's see who they target. I'm assuming it's just going to be a random fighter in the bomber formation area. Yeah, it just says, it doesn't really make a distinction. It's just you select a section at random, but there are no sections, so we just select a fighter at random. And if it were a section, they'd have to spend a fuel, but we aren't, so we don't. All right, so let's see who's going to get this Messerschmitt's result. We have 9 here, right? Or no, we only have 8 because we lost Osgood. So yeah, we'll just do 1 through 8. Re-roll anything higher than that. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be our green pilot, Merrington. We almost got by with no Luftwaffe advantage cards being drawn. They're not 110s. Messerschmitts are always 109s, so we are being tailed by a swarm. Let's see. We are 1 escort kill away from another victory point, so maybe we should try to take somebody out here. Why don't we attempt a turn? Turn and evade are only options. You can't do a slip when you're a lone fighter. Okay, tailed lone fighter against 109s. The turn is successful and they vanish. Okay. Well, we didn't get our kill, but at least we got them to go away. All right. That will take us to swirl again. So we go back to the orders phase, nothing to do there, nothing to do for intercept. Entropy, we go back to the bomber formation area. So we could, and I'm just saying this because it's a possibility, but I'm not even considering it in the slightest. We could stick around and try to take another bomber out. We have several... Well, not several, but we have 4 fighters that still have ammo. However, if you see where we are, three things really. So we're in a spot with possible channel patrol, so there's the danger of that if we stick around. We're already on low fuel, so then we'd be moving into empty. And then also, we would then be, when this gets revealed, the raid marker is going to be here. So if anything happens from that, that might cause someone to go to a fate. Well, even if we RTB while we're here, then we have the potential for having to make a channel recovery roll, which are very nasty. You want to avoid that at all costs. So for all of those reasons, we are going to choose to return to base with everyone. Let's get red 3's green marker back to him. And blue 3, who I kept wanting to call green 3. Return his green marker. All these low ammos can come off. And we all go to this spot, which will require a bailout check, but only on a 1. Okay. That takes us to reaction, which we skip because there's no one in the bomber formation area. Nothing to do for chase. Patrol complete. Yes. All right, so let's check everyone's situation here. We'll start with the fate box. Osgood needs to roll a 10 or higher to successfully land his aircraft. Oops. And we'll do red die for the initial result, blue die for the secondary result if needed. 12, look at that. What a champ. All right, now we have several bailout checks to do. I'm going to move this over to here to make it easier on my back. I'm not leaning all the way across the table. Again, only on a 1 will they bail out. So we've got red 3. Safe. Green leader. Safe. Blue leader. Safe. Red 2. Safe. Green 3. Safe. Red, blue 2. What's wrong with my saying the right color today? They're safe. Blue 3. Safe. And red leader. Safe. Wow, 3 12s in there. Just as likely to roll a 1 as a 12, so I'm glad they were 12s, not 1s. I mean, just as likely to roll a 1 as any number, so. All right. So they all make it back okay on their low fuel situation. Yeah, and that'll do it. Let's look at our summary for the patrol. Didn't manage any escort kills. Again, the next one we get will be a victory point. We did get 3 bomber kills. No isolated Ketan. I guess I should scratch this off to show it wasn't even a possibility. That was the same in these last 2 cases too. I'm guessing here, I don't remember, but I'm guessing we didn't have even have the opportunity to isolate Ketan there either. So yeah, a total of 3 victory points. We had no one bail out, no one wounded, and no one killed. That's only the, 3rd time that's happened? 4th time. Our 3rd patrol in Chapter 1. Everybody made it back safely. 6th patrol in Chapter 2. 4th patrol in Chapter 3. And now 4th patrol in Chapter 4. So that was excellent. I mean, not that great point-wise, but I think given our situation where we had to start deep, we had to rendezvous, at least attempt to rendezvous with the other squadron. Gave them time to get their bombs dropped, so we didn't have the opportunity to score a lot of points, but we got some. So that puts us at a total of 16, 20, 23 now for the chapter at the halfway point. So 23, I think, is still in the failure category. But if we can do at least that well on the next 4 patrols, we'll be at 46, and that will put us into the success range. So I'm pleased with the results so far. And again, we're not in danger of failing the campaign in any way. We've already have our victory secured. We're really just playing things out to see how it finishes up. But of course, I want to try to do as well as possible, because I'm sure that's what you guys want to see as well. You don't want to see me just, sandbag it just to make it through. I want to see some action. So, alrighty. Well, thanks everybody for watching. That's going to wrap up this episode of Skies Above Britain. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you're so inclined. And we will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.